I go. Made a promise to my mother, it's okay, cause I'm gon' die for this. I put my mind to this. Watch all these people, how they treat you, got no time for it. I fear no evil, got my demons, I'm just fine with them. And all these people think they know me, it don't matter to me, cause I'm gon' die for this. I put my mind to this. Watch all these people, how they treat you, got no time for it. I fear no evil, got my demons, I'm just fine with them.
All right, everybody, welcome to the 3 Point Stance podcast. I am Kaleb, and I am with none other than my co-host, Dee Gray. How's it going, brother?
Man, it's great, man. It's great, man. You know what week it just is, right? It's draft week. Man, there's no better time to be excited. Come on now. We super excited for this week right here. Man, especially for Steelers fans out here, man. I know they can't pumped up. Can't wait to see who we pick, man, in the first round, man. Do they trade up or do they stay at 17? That's the big question. We're going to talk about that tonight.
Yeah, and like Dee said, you know, we're going to go over 4 prospects that we think that the Steelers might go and grab in the first or, you know, maybe even second round of this year's draft. And with that, I'm going to let Dee kick it off with one of his favorite prospects in this year's draft.
Man, I got 2 good ones, man. But I'm a pop it off with Paris Johnson, man. Man, ever since I seen that one video, man, I know all over social media have been talking about that one video. Yeah, huge Ohio State fan over here. But Paris Johnson, man, unbelievable talent, man. Great player, man. And I think the Steelers, man, they have an opportunity to trade up, man. They have to trade up and get Paris Johnson. He's going to be a bookend tackle for years to come, man. I'm talking about Hall of Fame type of talent, man. Talent, once again, talent. That doesn't mean that can automatically be that because of the talent. But if he amounts up to the workability, man, he work hard, man, and train every day, man, he could be one of the best tackles around this league, man. And some of the things I like about Paris, man, just at the top of his sets, man, he's very aggressive with his hands, man. He has an unbelievable feet, as we've seen from his pro day and at the combine. But most importantly, man, he uses his hands really well as an offensive lineman. And everybody knows your feet is most important as an offensive lineman, but your hands and getting your hands onto players is even important and more important than that. And I think he did a great job sustaining blocks, man, at the top of the set. He rarely gets beat inside a lot, so he has a great post step, man, with him. And, man, he plays with great leverage and inside of these edge rushers, man, to keep them outside, to keep them on the edges and not give up tight edges and short edges for the quarterback to get hit, man, and give up strip sacks, anything like that. So as I've been looking at him, man, and I think, man, he's the most complete player in his draft, man, as far as offensive line play. He's the most complete offensive lineman right now at tackle, guard, whatever you want to put him at. He just have everything that's capable of being a Hall of Famer, man. I keep saying Hall of Famer because those type of guys are rarities, rare people that comes around like that, man, that has that amount of speed, size, nastiness at offensive line, man. All these a lot of guys at offensive line have a lot of things, but they don't have this. And he's the most complete package in my eyes. What you think?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I am all on board for the Steelers going to get him. I was kind of, you know, over the past few months of draft season, combine, everything like that, I was more leaning towards going corner. But whenever I heard that they were interested in going Paris Johnson, I'm all on board protecting Kenny for the next 15 plus years.
Yeah, man. I think that's most important right now as the Steelers are in a rebranding stage. I mean, they're still trying to get over the loss of Ben Roethlisberger and trying to rekindle this culture of the Steelers way, man. And they have a lot of young guys now, man. And I think at this point now you start to build those Pounceys again, those DeCastros again, trying to rebuild that culture again with these new guys, man. And it starts off by being nasty up front. And I think Kenny, man, him being a dog at quarterback, he needs a nasty all-offensive lineman to throw these guys about the bar. No T-shirts in the club, brother. Like, you know what I'm saying? Straight up like that. and that's straight up like that. So, man, that's that. Me personally, if I'm the Steelers right now, I'm going to trade up, man, and trying to get that guy, man, because sitting at 17, he won't last. I promise you he won't last that long. He probably won't even last 10 picks. I'm telling you, 10 picks by that, he's gone in between the top 10. And me personally, man, because if any team smart out here, whether you need an offensive lineman or not, you got to get him. Like, that's just like, it's like a steal. You got to get that guy. And man, whether he a big tight end and a big package or something like that, you got to use this guy at some point. You know what I mean? So, and I'm the Steelers, man. It's a no-brainer, man. I'm giving up whatever I have to give up to go get that guy, man. And if you want a great tackle over the years, I mean, Dan Moore's pretty good. Chooks is good. But this guy right here will be a guy that's going to be longevity, future, not just a great guy, a Steeler, a long-term Steeler guy, but he's going to be a great player in this league for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, you capped it off. You hit it right on the head. I mean, he has Hall of Fame capability, and he could be that stalwart for the next, hopefully, 15 plus years with the way the game's been going. And, who better to analyze them than, the former number 77 of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Hopefully, Dee's willing to give up that 7-7 to Paris when that time comes. And Omar,
man, he could fully take over that 77 number, man. He gets drafted, man. He can have my number 77, man. And man, and like I said, man, the most impressive thing about this guy, man, is his foot speed and his hand speed, man. His foot-eye coordination is crazy, man. And I think that right now, being at this time of this type of football that's being played now is about speed. Yes, power is very needed, but speed and hand coordination like that is remarkable, bro. And he has all the tools, man, at right now in college, bro, like that. He's only going to keep getting better. He's only going to keep getting better if he allows himself to stay focused and stay grounded and hungry. He's only going to get better. And I think right now, man, he's very violent with his hands at the top of the set. And he don't mind dumping the guy when he gets him off balance. And, man, I watched this film against Georgia, man. I mean, man, the dude can play, man. I mean, he just slinging dudes, man. I was like, man, he can play, man. And it's more than just slinging dudes. He loves it. Like, man, he loves ball, man. He loves to be able to get underneath the guy's pads. And he loves just trashing dudes and just rubbing his crotch all over their face. Ooh, you just got to love that as an O-lineman, man. You just got to love the nastiness. I mean, that's almost better than – never mind. I'll save that comment.
Yeah. So with that comment, we'll move on to one of my prospects now. A guy that Dee is very familiar with out of the University of Maryland, cornerback Deonte Banks. I really like the guy. Bryant McFadden was on Twitter Spaces with our Steeler Nation page, and he was talking about a comparison for Deonte Banks and who was the closest comparison to Pat Pete out of the cornerback group. And he said none other than Deonte Banks. And I see it. I mean, he ran a 4.35. The interception numbers weren't there. He had one interception this year, 8 pass breakups. But, I mean, his play style, he plays very smooth. He's got a good size. He's 6 foot, almost 200 pounds. He might be slightly under 200 pounds. Yeah. But, I mean, I don't see what there is to dislike about him.
Me personally, I really like Deonte, but me personally, man, I gotta go with Joey Porter, man. When it comes to those two, man, I'm about physicality. Then I love my Maryland boy, man. I love everything about him. I think he's gonna be a great corner in this league. But for Pittsburgh, I just don't. I mean, me personally, I just don't see him bringing that same nastiness that Pittsburgh got. He's speed. He's clean. But Joey Porter brings that nastiness to the game, to defense. Like he's almost rechanging the name of corner people. When you think of cornerback, you think of guys that hate to tackle. You want to get your running back on the corner because I could throw them in the stands, stiff arm, Derrick Henry style. But no, Joey Porter's different. And I hate to shoot your guy down, but I just think I'm going Joey Porter with that guy, man. I really like Deonte Banks. I think he'll really be if they end up going with Deonte Banks, I mean, they can never lose. Deonte Banks is a baller. You know what I'm saying? But when I think about Deonte Banks, I think almost like, I mean, the way James Pierre evolved to the way he is now, I think that's what Deonte Banks is right now, another James Pierre. A great player, ball hawk, speed, can find the ball, locate the ball in the air, you know what I'm saying, make big plays. But is those guys coming down here making linebacker hits at corner? I don't see it. And that's gonna be different when it comes to playing the AFC South or South.
North. You were in the South with the Titans and Jags.
Yeah, that's what it was. North. The AFC North, man. I mean, either playing against the Bengals on Monday night or Cleveland. The difference makers, those corners out there making big tackles on the edges, man. Those screens, those receiver screens, they come and busting through there like Mike Hilton. Man. But once again, I really like Deonte Banks, man. I think he's a great fit if they do choose. But I think Joey Porter is even better fit in my eyes.
Yeah, no, I mean, I completely agree. And for the Steelers fans that are watching this episode, if you want to know how we really feel about Joey Porter Jr., our very first episode 2 weeks ago was all on Joey Porter Jr. Like, we like these prospects we're talking about today, but Joey Porter got his very own episode.
Man, I'm telling you, man, he's a man amongst boys, man, and he's a man amongst boys, man, and but like I said, once again, Deonte Banks, man, the speed he shows, man, and I love everything about Deonte Banks. I think he's a great player. Even if he doesn't end up with the Steelers, man, I think he'll be a immediate contributor to whatever team he goes to, man. And I think that's one thing Deonte can hold on his head, that he's going to be an immediate contributor to any team he goes to. But me personally, I just think that it's probably a better team out there for him. I can see him playing mainly like, if I had to choose a team for him, I think he can more be like a Eagles guy. He could play. He'd be real good like in the Eagles system or something like that. Steve, like you know what I'm saying, nice and nice, like Green Goblin, all those guys like that out there, man. He could be like them, but we take Joey Porter. We need the physicality. We need the size. We need when he come out that tunnel, they see a corner stand at 6'2", 200 pounds, ripped up. That's a scary sight for people like OBJ. They got to go against.
I'm so happy you brought all this up, because my last thing I was going to bring up on Deonte Banks is I would love for him to be the pick if Paris Johnson, Broderick Jones, or Joey Porter Jr. is off the board.
Oh yeah, definitely, man, definitely. But that also is now about to propel me to my next guy I really like a lot, but needs a lot of cleaning up, man, and that's Broderick Jones. And I think he's a great, terrific talent, man. He came out of Georgia, man. He's solid. He's great, but I think he gets himself in a lot of trouble, man. Kaleb, I was sitting here like breaking down his film, and he struggles a little bit with inside moves. So that means he has weight distribution issues, meaning that he's more leaning on his outside leg, which is his left leg. If everyone follow me right now, he's playing left tackle, so he's leaning more on that left leg, and he's getting knocked out of there, guys are taking the inside move on him a lot. And I'm saying that's repeatedly, a lot of guys are doing that. And it's all stuff that could be fixed. Could it be fixed overnight? No, I don't think so. But I mean, time draft is coming up now, and rookie minicamp is coming up now. The Steelers choose to go the route and go get Broderick Jones, because I really think he's a good fit for those guys too. Me personally, if I'm Steelers, I'm moving him to guard. I think he'll be a hell of a better guard than he is tackle right now, just because of the weight distribution issues. Sometimes I've seen a couple of times on the film, he comes off the ball kind of late. He doesn't really get into defenders really fast. He takes his time and wait. Then he gets into defenders. And NFL, brother, you got to get out that ball and get to him right now. You know what I mean? Because all that setting up and trying to get the perfect fit, boy, you getting blown in the backfield, guy. You know what I mean? But once again, I think besides that, he has great feet. I mean, he gets his hands on guys quick, and he runs them. He runs them to the sideline. I mean, he's massive. He's strong. He got good, strong hands. But the things that scares me about his game is literally the top of his sets, man. Like, guys, like, literally throws him out the club, man. Like, he gets to the top and dudes lift him, and he be like turning around doing a 360. I'd be like, whoa, brother, where you going at? You know what I mean? And he has a lot of quarterback hurries and stuff like that. But I mean, it's part of O-line play, man. I mean, I play it, man. It's tough, man. It's tough, but he has to continue to develop, especially if they talking about him being a day one guy, man. He has to continue to develop quickly, because if you get taken in this first round, man, the onus is going to be on you. You are going to be the face of the draft class for that team. Everyone's going to be looking at you, man, and you're going to have to get that cleaned up. And if you come to Pittsburgh, fans are really – diehard Steelers fans, you're going to hear about it. If you get beat at the top of your set, you're going to hear about it for a week until you get to the next game to clean it up. So, Broderick Jones, man, you high on my list, man. I really think you're a hell of a player, man. I think that he's a guy that can he could be coming in, man. He can come in. It's probably going to take him a second. He's going to be a guy that don't make a immediate contribution. He's going to have to probably sit there and learn maybe a few weeks in camp, and then eventually he get a couple preseason games going. By the season come, I think he'll be ready to go by then. But it's gonna take a second though.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, he's a left tackle. At the combine, he threw. I can't remember which Steelers coach it was, but he threw one of them out the club, and I think that's where the Steelers kind of started to fall in love with him, because that's that hands on feeling with him. And in my opinion, dude looks like a linebacker. the way he's
Yeah,
built.
he looks great, man. I think he looks great. He moves great. Man, I love looking at him in space, man. When he pulls around those, like, he do those pin and pull type of plays, man. When the tight end comes down, he pulls out. Man, he gets locked on guys real good, man. I think that's something that he has great going for him, man. That when he gets out into space or with these corners and those guys that's playing more of the alley, meaning like support players, could be safeties or flexed out linebackers, all those like things, man, he gets his hand on those guys and he runs them, man. And I think that's something that he does well with, man. He likes to run. So if I'm a guy, the Steelers, Purge Johnson is gone. I think Peter Skoronski. I'm thinking Peter Skoronski is already gone as well. I think he's the next best guy, man. And I think you could develop him and mold him the right way, man. You could pull him a lot, man. I think he has the ability to play guard. I see a lot of guard in his play, man. I think he could be a dominant guard, man. Paris Johnson, I don't really see that. I think he's a true tackle, but for some reason, his game for Jones, I think he could play a little bit of guard. So, I mean, hey, you heard it from me first. If you ever see him pop up in guard, D said it first, man. I'm telling you, I can see him playing a little bit of guard.
He's got the size for it. And I mean, like, he might be, out of this offensive line group, the best overall athlete. I mean, he kind of feels like the Marquise Pouncey, if you may, of this offensive line group. Because Pouncey could have played any position on the offensive line. Pouncey was a center pulling. Obviously, a left tackle pulls more often than a center. And Pouncey, I believe, ran like a 4.6, 4.7. There's no other Pouncey.
Wow.
Let's get that straight. I could see it in your face.
I was getting to that point. I was like, I don't know about that, kid. That might be a little reach. I don't know about Pouncey, man. Pouncey was a different animal. I don't know if we can compare him to Pouncey.
I was just referring to athlete-wise, athleticism.
Oh.
He's that guy of this draft class as far as the athleticism goes. He is. I don't think there'll ever be another Pouncey that's going to go curb stomp, a Larry O and Myles Garrett in Cleveland.
Oh no, I definitely don't think that, man. I think that, man, Pouncey was playing with Pouncey, man. It was like. It was like playing against men against boys, man, and like the way the way his punch was incredible, man. Like, he had an incredible punch, man. I mean, I remember as a rookie, man, coming out there and then lining up, and we doing walkthroughs, and Pouncey. I guess everybody had the memo, like, man, if you a guy that been there, you ain't getting it at the 2-eye or like the shade or anything like that to give Pouncey a look, because he punches so hard, like he bruise your chest. So I'm the young guy. I come out there, just got freshly drafted. I mean, I'm feeling good. I'm trotting out there, and we doing walkthroughs. And the way he blew my chest out, dude, I swear, I was like, bro, I didn't sign up for this. I play offense. I didn't sign up for this. I'm like, I didn't sign up for this. I didn't sign up to be letting this dude just punch my chest out every morning. Like, bro, I'm talking about, bro. I think we had a guy from LSU named Garrett Brumfield. Garrett Brumfield. He was from LSU. He was a guard at the time in 2019. And he punched Garrett Brumfield's chest so hard repeatedly over and over, because after I got to start getting some little bit of practice time, I said, oh, no, I got to practice. So I'm not doing the walkthrough thing where I got to stand in front of Pouncey and get punched. So whoever's not playing got to get over there now. So, man, I'm talking about Brumfield. The second day after getting punched, man, he came out there with like a training room pad, like a pad to use for like a cast or something like that. He came out with a pad on his chest, on both of his chest plates, just to give him more cushion. Man, we seen Pouncey say go, man. He came on and boom. All you seen, both of the pads just dropped boop, boop, out of his chest. I was like, what are those? He was like, man, my chest hurt, dog. I had to come out with some extra cushion. I was like, man, Pouncey got to stop with this, man. But the point of the thing is, man, I know it's a comparison going with that 53 at the time, giving Green with that, what's his name, Kendrick Green, giving Kendrick that 53 number. That was kind of a punch in the face. If I'm Marquise Pouncey, that was kind of a punch in the face. Yeah, I know. He started out well, though. Let's give it to him. He started out well, man. He started out really, really well. And then he even trained with Pouncey and those guys down in Florida. He started out really well. And then after that, it almost like 53 became like a wild number. Like, it's almost like, ew. Like, we don't want to see that number anymore. You know what I mean? But Kendrick, man, I mean, man, we thought he was going to be the next Pouncey, man. So, but long story short, it's only one Pouncey. There's only one Pouncey. He's only one Pouncey at this point, man. We can't compare him to no one else yet until another 53 really come out of Florida or something. At this point, there's no other Pouncey. Man, it's crazy. I'm sorry to go on a rant like that, but I had to tell that story about how this dude only knew one speed at center. The Steelers had to be lucky to draft that guy back in the day, man, because this dude, the way he do walkthroughs, the way he punched in walkthroughs, it almost felt the same way he punched in regular games. It was like, but that's the way he practiced. He practiced the way he played. And he practiced, and whether it was walk through, jog through, full tempo, you wouldn't know the difference because he all going at one speed. And he punching your chest if you lined up there. So, Kaleb, if you ever meet Pouncey and he want to do a drill, please bring all your fire department padding and all your needs. Bring all that. You're going to need all that. You're going to need all that for Pouncey. Yeah, you might need that too because his hand might slip and hit your face. You might slip and hit your face, man. But man, I can't wait till the day to see the Steelers draft somebody that's really exactly almost like Pouncey, though. I bet every game.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And like I said, Broderick Jones is that athlete of the group. He's probably not going to be anywhere close to Pouncey in his NFL career, but.
I got to hope before we do that. I think the next person that was the best puncher on that team had to go to me, not to brush my own shoulders, but Ramon. I think Ramon Foster diagnosed me with that trait. Was the biggest puncher, the strongest punch on the team, and I think Ramon Foster diagnosed me with that great trait. I mean, I loved every part of it. I was doing a podcast and actually a radio show. And we had the radio show for the kids in Nashville, and he worked at this radio station doing podcasting and like morning shows now in Nashville. Ramon, that's my big brother, mentor, everything. Man, I mean, I didn't even know he worked there. I walked past this thing, and I looked and said, "Is that Big Moan?" I said, "That's Moan," but he was on the air at the time. So I just waited and said, "Man, what's up?" So I'm getting ready to do my on-the-air show on the radio to talk about the camp I had in Tennessee and stuff like that. And he just busting the door. Boom. Sorry to interrupt y'all's radio show. It's like a whole radio show setting going on. He was like, "Y'all know who that guy is right there?" He said, "I played with this guy Moan played with me for 2 years." He said, "Man, I played with this guy for 2 years. And I'm telling you, if y'all know one thing about this dude, please do not get punched by this dude. He will cave your chest in or something along those lines." Everybody bust out laughing. I said, "Thanks, dog." He's like, "Man, this dude punch was the craziest punch I ever felt." Like, and I thank him, and I also thank Pouncey for training me the way so I could punch just like that. So, short little story. I mean, I know Steeler Nation love that, man. Shout out to Pouncey, man, doing Florida, doing his thing down there, man, and Ramon doing his thing on the air, man, with DK and those guys down there. So, shout out to them two boys, man, and but yeah, man, we also got one more guy we want to talk about, man, and it's Kaleb's guy. I actually like this guy.
I'm pounding the table for this guy come round two. Like Darnell Washington.
Ooh, I like him.
6'7", 264. He sounds like he's as big as LeBron James, but you feel like he's a center.
Freight train. I'm talking about this dude is crazy.
Yeah.
When I heard you was doing this guy, man, it was crazy. When I heard you was doing this guy, I was excited. I was like, "Ooh, I can't wait to chime in about this dude."
And what's crazy, like looking at his stats this last year, I mean, he had 28 catches, 454, 2 touchdowns. That's mediocre for the college level and how good Georgia was. But Georgia's offense is built around the run. They had Stetson Bennett. He's in my opinion, Alex Smith of college football. He was very clutch and won some games. Shouldn't have beat Ohio State in the playoff game, but that's whatever. But Darnell Washington, 6'7", runs a 4.6. A 4.6, D. 4.6.
It's huge.
And he's 260
and fast. That's huge and fast. He's 40 pounds from 300 pounds.
And it's like Gentry. It's like Gentry on steroids.
Let me just chime in. Let me just chime in.
He's on steroids. Don't drug test him.
I think you kind of like gave his secret away. Hold on. I think we just talked to him the other night. But let me just chime in about this guy. Dude, if I'm a tackle, I want to play against this guy because we're doing a combo block, and if guys that know football, we're doing a triple, we're doing an inside zone play or a wide zone play, and we call a triple to outside. Man, I want to be in combination with this guy. This guy is physical as heck at the point of attack. I'm talking about he's getting into defenders, man, and he's lifting dudes. Mind you, when I look at his film, bro, it looked like he's playing against high schoolers. And this is SEC football that we talking about, and he's that much bigger than everybody. First of all, I don't know how he got that big, but man, he uses his size wide. He loses his size really well, and the fact that he can get the ball, man. I've seen him like run through people, but I also seen this big dude hurdle someone. I was like, what is going on in college football? What are they feeling? NILs are getting feed something through these NIL deals, but this dude is hurdling people at 260. Man, the dude is humongous, man. I was like, now he's a Steeler. So if y'all don't understand what I'm going at right now, Steeler is not about speed. It's about heart and making someone quit. And I think him right there, he's big and he's gonna beat somebody down and make them quit. And I love that about Steeler football. They just want to beat dudes and make them quit. Make them quit, man. Fourth quarter come, they want to ready to pack it up and hit the buses.
And I want Steeler Nation to know we are not pounding the table for him to replace Pat Freiermuth. We were pounding the table for him to be a deadly combination with Pat Freiermuth.
Like, and I love Zach Gentry, man. I love Zach.
I do too. Yep.
You was my roommate my rookie year. Zach was my roommate at the Fairfield Suites in Pittsburgh on the South Side, on South Water Street. We'll never forget it. That's my guy. I'll never forget it. But at the end of the day, this dude right here is a stud. I'm talking about this dude is a prick when it comes to the point of attack. He is mauling guys. Man, he like Antonio Gates. He looked like so many guys in one. It's like, bro, it's not even fair, bro. Like, so if I'm the Steelers right now, bro, he's another guy. I mean, you got to give up something to get this guy. I mean, Zach, if I had to get out the door, you out the door, brother.
So my guess is I don't even think Zach even has to leave for Darnell to come step in because I think
because they have three tight ends on the roster.
3 tight ends, yeah, but we have Connor Hayward. But guess what? He's
a fullback.
He's a football player. That man could line up at tight end, halfback, fullback. He could play. He'd probably play quarterback. He'd probably go kick a 40-yard field goal for you if you wanted to. And Connor Hayward is that.
That'll be a time I walk out the room when he's at kicking or quarterback because there's only one Kenny Pickett, and Kenny Pickett would not allow that to happen. And man, trust me, I know them Hayward boys feel like they rule the world, boy. Cam at D-line and him, man, I don't know what they own, but man, they're a pretty good set, man. And so funny, man. We saw
Cam ain't taking it easy on Connor.
No. Man, it's so funny, man, because, I play with Kaleb Davis up here, man. It's so funny. I'm like, man, we won't get Carlos up here. So we talking about that so much, man. I was like, man, I said, man, how does it feel to be a twin? Like, to be on an NFL team, like, he was just talking about it just feel normal. I was like, do you have the same agent? He's like, nah, he fat his agent. I'm like, y'all twins, but don't have the same agent. That doesn't make no sense. I said, all the set of brothers I knew had the same agent. Connor and Cam, same agent. Dirk, TJ, and JJ, same agent. Who else? What's the boy name? Pouncey twins, same agent. I'm like, what happened to y'all? Like, why you don't have the same agent? He said, we started out that way, but we ain't end that way. We was away from talking about that today. I was just like, that's crazy. But yeah, man, I think that Mr. Washington, man, will be a great addition to Steeler football, man. He's just gonna bring that nastiness, man. And if you don't know by now, Steeler Nation, about being a part of a Steelers organization, you have to bring physicality and be nasty and love beating people down and making people quit. If you got that, you will last. I promise you. You will last if you got some physicality and nastiness to you. You're going to last.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, that's going to be maybe one of the few times you see the quarterback and the running back of the same team pounding the table for this guy, because not only is he an athlete, like you said, he is a very, very solid run blocker. So Najee gonna eat. He's gonna eat. He's gonna eat regardless this year, just based off of the pickups we've done in free agency.
I think that's true, but I think that's definitely, man, gonna be helpful, man, as far as helping the tight end room, man. And Zach Gentry is a hell of a blocker as well, man. Zach he owns it. He loves blocking. He understands that he's not the best catcher out here. He's not the fastest, so he owns the blocking game, man. And I think that's great for Zach. That's what's keeping him around so long. I think Zach is an unbelievable blocker, man. I think that this year, man, Zach just need to up his game a little bit as being a catcher now and being more agile and speedy. man, now makes him a complete tight end, man, and a lot to deal with because he's already a great player, man. He's been a great player at Michigan, and I think just adding Washington to the room, man, just brings more athletic ability, more power, more strength, and just another athletic guy that can go out in space and go catch stuff and make people miss, and not only make people miss, be another Najee at tight end, running people over and stiff on their faces and jumping over people.
Yeah.
Why would y'all want that in Acrisure Stadium? Get loud in here. Come on, what are you doing? Like, man, like, come on. Like,
yeah, exactly. And then for our next segment, and before we kick into our 3-point segment, all I want to say is over with these 4 prospects we went over today, down in the comment section below, or even on our Twitter pages at Kaleb DJF, at Team Gray. Let us know who's your favorite out of the 4 we talked about today. And
the people we talked about today is my 2 was Paris Johnson Jr., Ohio State, best offensive lineman in the draft. And my
Ohio
guy,
State University.
Broderick Jones, tackle out of Georgia. Man, I think those are my 2 best players I chose to talk about today, man. I love my O-line guys. And Kaleb, who was your 2 again?
I went over Deonte Banks, cornerback out of the University of Maryland. And then our guy, the big tight end, Darnell Washington out of Georgia.
So, guys, if y'all watching this show, man, make sure y'all please be interactive, man. Man, comment at the bottom, man. Let us know, man, who y'all think is the best pick out of these 4. Or let us know if we off the mark and who we should have been talking about. Man, you got to keep this interactive, man. We love hearing y'all comments. We love knowing what y'all think because, hey, at the end of the day, we love 3 voices are better than 2. So, man, let be that 3rd voice and help us out, man. And, man, Kaleb, let's get into our 3-point segment, man. This is going to be fun for you guys. The 3-point segment. Kick it off.
Today, we are going to, Derwin and I are both, for our first 3 picks, we're going to make our predictions for the picks, and I'll kick it off. My first 3 picks, I got us trading up for your guy, Paris Johnson.
Come on, man.
I think we fleece Chicago again, just like we did with Chase Claypool. I think we get some picks. We're going to keep our 32nd pick. Guess who that's going to be? You know, there's talks of the trade down possibly happening, but I think Darnell Washington's he's too much of a Steeler to pass up at 32. And then to cap it off, you guys are wondering, hey, where's that cornerback, Kaleb? Let me tell you. I got Julius Brents out of Kansas State, and he has been heavily compared to Tariq Woolen out of Seattle. Pro Bowler his rookie year. I mean, I think that's perfect 3 picks. I don't know what Dee's is going to look like, but, you know, let's see what his. I think I know what his first-round pick is, though.
My first round pick is going with my guy from the horseshoe, from the Ohio State, my Big Ten boy. I'm going with Paris Johnson, man. I think we trading up early, man. A top 10 to try to get this guy, man. You can't pass up on this guy, man. Once again, unbelievable talent, strong hands, powerful hands, great feet, man. Just dominate guys at the top of the thing, man. Top of the set, man. I think that's huge in the NFL. NFL is about throwing the ball, man. It's a passing league now. Running is important, but passing and better protect the quarterback, keep him upright. It's the most important thing you can do right now. My second guy, this might be a little different. I like my guy from the DMV, Clemson boy. I like Brian Brees. Man, from Damascus, Maryland. Man, this dude is a monster, man, inside, man. I seen this dude play, man, at high school. He went to the same high school as a guy that played with me named Jake Funk. Jake Funk went to a school called Damascus High School in Maryland. And Jake Funk played with me, and he was talking about Brian Brees. He came up on his visit, man. I was like, this dude is in high school, huge. And to see him now as a 3-tech, he's dominant inside. And, you know, let's be real, Cam is getting old. We don't know how many more years we'll get out of Cam, but we need a dominant force to come behind him. And Brian Brees, he may not be an immediate contributor, but he'll get a few snaps and get some reps. But the fact is, in practice, he's getting to learn from a Hall of Famer, Cam Hayward. Man, that's enough, man, to help this guy get to the heights he need to get at, man, to be a dominant force on the south side. I think he's going to be huge. My third pick, man, Brian Brees, I love that. My third pick, man, this was tough, man, because it's tough, man. My third one, man, was tough, man. It's tough. I really didn't really have a good one, but man, it was tough. My third pick. See, I like the Joey Porter too, but I really don't have them in order. How I know if I had to switch the order around, I know Brian Brees probably won't last that long, but my first 3 picks, man, will probably be JPJ, if not Paris Johnson, because it's a lot of moving parts. Because if they draft up, of course, you know what I'm saying, you lose the opportunity of getting JPJ. But if in a great world, man, my first 3 picks, man, that I want the Steelers to have on the team, man, is Paris Johnson, JPJ, and Brian Brees, man. I think those 3 guys right there are studs, man. They bring physicality, man. And of course, you talked about Darnell Washington, man. I think he's huge too, man. But man, all those picks, man, I think is unbelievable picks, and I think all those are immediate contributors to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and just so everybody doesn't get it twisted, this is something Dee and I talked about before. I was going to go over my first, second, and or I guess our first, second, and second round picks, and Dee was going to go over his favorite 3 for that 17 pick or the possibility of trading up.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love all 3 of those guys. I know the Steelers they love Brian Breesy, but I mean that's it for the show. You know, I think we covered a lot.
I think today's, man, it was a show, man. I'm also just targeting the guys, man, because once again, guys, it's draft week. It's no better time to be talking about the possibilities right now. Forget the possibility. It's who we need to make this thing roll, man. I think these is the most important time conversation. It's the build up, man. It's the build up. Draft in a few days, man. We got to get pumped up, man. And let's get JPJ home. Let's get Paris Johnson home, man. And
let's get them both. Let's just get them both.
Broderick, man. Hope we can get you in the second round. I hope everyone pass up on you, man, and come in the second round, man, and make you an unbelievable guard, man, and play inside, man, beside James Daniels and all those guys if he's back. James Daniels back?
Oh, he's back. He's back.
Yeah, James Daniels back, and Kevin Dotson and all those guys inside, man, and all the new pieces from the free agency, man. So they got some dogs, man. I think the O-line, you can never have too many O-linemen, man, because shoulders and knees is one thing that goes down for us up front, and you always need a great depth, man. And man, hopefully we can get those guys home, man. Brian Brees, man, keep balling, man. Can't wait to see where y'all land up, man, this week, man. And once again, man, Steelers fans, please, man, be interactive at the bottom, man. Talk to us, man, the comments, man. Please head over to our Instagrams at Kaleb DJF and Team Great, man. Come hit us up on Twitter, man. DM us, man. Let's see what y'all got to talk about, man. We love to comment back, get into a Twitter war with you. We love it, man. We just want to talk Steeler ball, man, and have fun with this. Kaleb.
And this is a pre-recorded episode, so you guys are going to see this 2 days after the fact, but we're about to see you guys on the Steeler Nation platforms on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube for any questions and anything you guys might want to ask Dee in his Birmingham Stallions 2-0 season, or even myself. You know, I'm not as flashy, but you know, I got some spunk.
No, for sure. Definitely. Well, all right, guys, man. See y'all back here, man, next week, or maybe later on around the draft time. Stay updated, man. Stay following, man, the Steeler Nation page, man, for updates, man, and we'll get back with you later.
Peace.